Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, I heard you say in a recent interview that this fight this weekend is about supremacy at super lightweight. Do you feel that Jack Catch will have to raise his levels to supreme performance to get rid of Arnold Barboza?
Yeah, to stop him. I mean, I think that it's a great fight. I mean, Jack's, honestly, every person we put forward for Jack to fight, he said yes. You know, he would have beaten, I know Linares was coming to the back end of his career, but he would have beat Linares, Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, and Arnold Barboza if he gets through Saturday. It's a hell of a run. Barboza's 31-0, great fighter. It's number 1 v number 2. It's a really, really good fight on a great undercard as well in Manchester.
Yeah, intrigue on the undercard. I feel like looking at the fights that Robert Davis Jr. and Jazza Dickens are in, do you feel that if they're on losing ends at the weekend that they might have to consider their spot in the sport?
Possibly. I mean, it depends what level you want to fight at. Like, you know, Robbie Davis Jr., for example, I watched his fight with Lipinets about a year ago, whatever it was. Good fight. Dropped him, had him out of there, you know, then come back and had a really good win against Javier Fortuna, who's, you know, been in big fights, former world champion. So it's actually a big step up for Pat McCormack. But, you know, you don't want to be losing to a 6-0, even though it's Pat McCormack. And for Jazza, he's going to give it everything. I just like the 3 really good domestic fights. You know, rather than Pat McCormack against some geezer from Argentina or, you know, Delfa against some tough kid from Mexico, it's Liverpool v Manchester, and it just means a little bit more.
So it's a little bit weird hearing, of course, the promotions between promoters now, yourself, Frank Warren and others, and you, I guess, promoting Frank Warren's upcoming fights as well because he joined to DAZN. My colleague Josh Hart spoke to Gareth A. Davis and said in the spate of obviously the link up with DAZN, the competition from Frank Warren's recent announcements, he said, can Eddie Hearn up his game? Do you feel that you need to up your game off the back of Frank's announcements?
No, I mean, Frank's got Dillian Whyte against Joe Joyce, Anthony Kakachi against Lee Wood, and Josh Taylor against Echo Escobar. Our next 3 are Catterall against Barboza, Crocker Donovan, and Ben Eubank. I mean, they're all good shows. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I want to have the best schedule. Like, don't get it twisted. We're pals. We go out for a glass of wine and a nice bit of grub, but we still want the better shows. It's weird because on one hand, you know, if like of those fights, standout night for me is the heavyweight fight night because I like that. I think it's a really good show. If that was on TNT, it might be a bit like, but now it's more like, oh, that's great for DAZN because you want to be providing a great offering for the fight fans and subscribers because it's going to drive subscription, build viewership for your shows as well, and it actually works for everybody. So, yeah, like I said, don't get it twisted. We still want to be number 1, but we're also delighted that DAZN keep improving their offering for fight fans.
Do you feel that you'll be rubbing shoulders with Bob Arum on DAZN soon, considering that the top ranked deal is coming up with ESPN?
Everybody's welcome, despite what they've said in the past. You know, I mean, if it was me and some people had said what they've said about DAZN, I might say, but that's not really the right way to approach it, and it's not really how it's going to work. But obviously, it sounds like Top Rank have lost their ESPN deal. If they have, they desperately need a broadcaster, and right now, everybody wants to be on DAZN. You know, some of us spotted it 6 years ago.
I did notice that there were some boxer fighters on that launch card for Frank Warren and the heavyweights. Do you feel that potentially that boxer might link up with DAZN if their deal comes up with Sky?
Yeah, is that TKV?
TKB.
Yeah. I don't know if Rekpor's out of contract or what, but I know TKV's with Spencer Brown, but yeah, I mean, like I know Frank and Ben Shalom might not have the best relationship, but I think they're still talking, and like we're working with Ben on Ben Eubank, so I think right now boxing's in a good place. I think everyone's enjoying it. No one's necessarily slagging people off or making slanderous comments. I'm sure that'll come. But right now, everybody's happy to work with everyone, and I think it's working well for the sport.
We spoke about retirements potentially on this card, but what about for White and Joyce? Do you feel like the loser leaves boxing if they were to retire?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think both guys are done at world level, but both guys are still exciting. You know, I mean, look at Joyce Chisora. It was, on one hand, it was a car crash, and the other hand, it was fight of the year. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what Dillian against Joe Joyce will be about. I expect Dillian Whyte to stop Joe Joyce.
Freddie Raheem spoke to Frank Warren. He asked for an update on Tyson Fury. He said that Tyson Fury was on the verge of a serious announcement. Is that serious announcement potential fight with Anthony Joshua?
I didn't know that. Probably not. We're definitely having had a conversation, but I don't know. Let me know.
I do find it a little bit strange that in recent months on Top Rank shows, they've had the paint attack with Sandy Ryan, and then now this, I guess, racially motivated message sent to Keyshawn Davis for this fight with Dennis Baranchyk. What's your kind of take on those two situations?
I don't necessarily think it's a Top Rank problem. It's a world problem. You know, we saw what happened with Keyshawn. It's absolutely despicable. I hope whoever does it gets caught. I don't, I know everybody points fingers at Baranchyk and his team, but, I know Alex Krasuk very well. Alex Krasuk would never allow something like that to happen. So, I don't know, CCTV in the hotel, police matter, I don't know. Hopefully it gets dealt with.
I listened to Gervonta Davis on the Safe Place podcast. Paraphrasing him, he said that when it came to deal with Turki Al-Sheikh for Riyadh season, he said they came at me the wrong way for the Devin fight. He felt like Devin was their guy, and he felt that off the back of that, he had to be paid extra. Otherwise, he felt he wouldn't get the decision, had to go for the KO. Your reaction?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people take bad advice, and some people think there's an agenda against them. Like the guy's trying to give you more money than you've ever dreamed of. Take it. But fight Shakur instead. Best fight in boxing.
The other thing he said was he felt that there was he said putting people around it that don't really know boxing. They're getting paid just to be there. Do you feel like that's the case with Riyadh season and the fights that Gervonta Davis is feeling that people aren't in the right positions?
No, I think we're seeing the best fights we've ever seen in boxing. And the only person that doesn't seem to want to be a part of it is Gervonta Davis. Canelo does, Terence Crawford does, Usyk does, AJ does, Fury does. What's with the whole, I'm not going over there. All right, well, do us a favour, turn the lights out when we leave, please. As he said to me once, we are a fast-moving train. Do you want to be on the train, or do you want to be on the platform waving goodbye?
Last thing before we say goodbye, news come out, British Boxing Hall of Famer Joe Gallagher suffering with stage 4 cancer. Just your reaction to that terrible news?
Yeah, obviously, mate, turns your stomach over, because I've known Joe for a very long time, and I think everybody, regardless of relationships and dealings with people, we're all one family, really. That's the reality. And it does make you realise that, life is very short, and, Joe's a young man with a family still, and, I texted him and I said, you're the most stubborn bastard I've ever met. You'll be just fine. So, God willing, you can protect him and he can get through this.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.